Okay, so I haven't done this in a long time. I feel awkward. Okay.
I'll close my eyes if you want me to.
What
Sorry.
if we
I'm not
both
helping
did the
you.
whole podcast with our eyes closed? Hey ladies, welcome back to the Woman Podcast. My name's Katy Bezet and I'm your host. And today I'm so excited because number one, the podcast is back.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, and by a minute I mean 6 months. And I apologize for that.
It's okay. We all lost our minds in quarantine.
I know. I'm like, we blinked and 6 months passed. Sorry. And today we have Tanner Cangelosi with us.
Hello.
Hello. And if you've been around New Life at all, or if you are from Arkansas, you probably know who Tanner is.
I don't know about that. I'm not that famous.
She's a local celebrity. Okay. Maybe
Infamous.
not. Infamous. But she and her husband, Tanner, have been around New Life for a very long time. Since the beginning, right?
We have. So Corey started coming to New Life the year they launched, and I was at a church across town. Don't hate me.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
but as soon as we got engaged, we started coming to New Life, and so my introduction was about 4 years into New Life.
Awesome.
And it's just been an incredible ride because really I feel like we've grown up now with New Life because we started, at 18, and then they were here through some very crucial decisions in our lives. We even at one point wanted to be missionaries in China when Corey and I first got married.
Wow.
And Rick got behind us and said, we're going to support you. He said, I'd really love for you to come on staff and be children's pastors. But we were like, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to work with real people, like with actual humans. And so we went to China through a trip that New Life backed us, and thinking, okay, Corey had his MBA. We were thinking he was going to get a business job. And then I was going to teach golf. I know it sounds very strange, but golf is big up and coming there. And so we thought, we're going to do this. And as soon as we got there, we thought the missionary we were serving was going to be like, oh, praise the Lord. So he has brought people to help me. And we thought we were like God's gift to her. And we were like fresh out of college. We did not know anything. And I just realized how prideful we were in that moment. And we were talking to her, and Rick had already talked to us about children's ministry. And we were talking to her, and she said, you know what we really need? We really need people back in the United States raising up the next generation of believers. And as soon as she said that, we looked at each other, and we got back, we called Rick, and we said, we want to be children's pastors.
No way.
And so we started about 15 years ago. And anyway, it's been an incredible journey because we kind of were thinking, okay, he has his MBA, we're going to go make money. Like, we going to make it rain. and then obviously God brought us into this field that we never thought we would be in, but it's blessed our socks off because starting in children's ministry and now having 6 children of our own, it's just, I feel like we got such a head start to see, okay, this is how we want to raise our kids, to see families that did it really well. And then now we're able to apply those to our herd of children that never leave.
I know.
So, during quarantine, I was waiting for someone to come get them. No
Come
one
get
did.
the bus and load them up.
No
oh
one
my
did.
gosh. So definitely want to hear your story in a little bit about your children. And
Okay.
because I love it. It's so cool. But you guys now are at New Life Church in Hot Springs.
We are.
How long have you been there?
We have been there 7 years, which is so crazy to me because I feel like I've blinked. And that part of the story is we had a bunch of children all at once. And so I feel like I lost a few years of my life whenever they were little. And anyway, so we've been there 7 years. We love it. We have such a great community there. And really, the New Life Church there is our community, but really the church with the big C is our community. We have friends, deep-rooted friendships in many different churches around town.
Yeah, don't you have a group of women you hang out with that are...
Yes. So we have like a women's gathering that meets every couple months called Unify. And it's a bunch of different churches that gather and have ladies' nights. And it's awesome. We're getting ready to have a virtual one next week. So
That's so awesome.
I'm excited.
Okay, so tell us your story of your children.
Okay, so Corey and I met at UCA. Go Bears.
Yeah.
We both played sports. I was the unathletic one, so I was the golfer.
Whatever.
And then Corey played football. We knew each other for a little bit. Like, we were acquaintances. And I kind of thought he was a rebel. He had long hair and a motorcycle. It stuck out the back of his helmet. It was nasty. Well, then he cut his hair, and I was like, oh, he is cute. And so we obviously got married. We actually dated for 5 months, got engaged, got married really fast.
Oh, my gosh. How long were y'all engaged?
5 months.
So 10 months.
Yes.
Dating, engaged, married.
And we, I don't know, I never would have planned my life that way. I would have never said, oh, this is what I'm going to do. But he has been just God's gift to me over and over. And it's funny because, he comes from a broken home and many, many hard things in his background, but I feel like it's made him into this man that is so stable for me. He's exactly what I need. Whenever my emotions are up and down all over the map, he's my steady. And anyway, I'm just so thankful for him. But so I'm sorry. So we got married in college. We were married while we were still going to school.
Wow.
And we loved being poor together. That was awesome. And then we started working at church. And so we always said I said 3 or 4 kids. He said 6 or 7 kids.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh
and
my gosh.
He's from South Louisiana, big families. And so I was, at the time when we got married, I was like, whatever you say, you're amazing. I'm so Twitter pated with you. And then, but then, then we have 2 kids, and I'm like, this is so hard. Like, what? And so we had 3 after we had 3. So the first 3 are all 18 months apart. Okay. I wouldn't recommend it.
Wow.
But then 18 months after Jo, the third, we were like, you know what? We had just moved to Hot Springs. We're like, let's have our 4th and final baby. We'll have them real close together. And then that way when they all graduate, we're going to party like it's 1999. Yeah. Well, so obviously then we get pregnant with our 4th. Praise God. I'm so thankful for our babies. But it turned out to be 3. And so we had all 6 in 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so at the time, when I found out that we were having triplets, I had a 4, 3, and a 1-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
And so I went home and rocked myself for a while in my backyard in my bathrobe. I literally did that. I just sat in my backyard watching my toddlers play and had my bathrobe on.
And you were thinking,
yes,
in 9 months, and I'll have 3 more in my backyard.
Exactly. So honestly, I feel like all the good that came from those years, I can honestly say is all God. Anything that came good from church, anything that came good from our home was all God, because we were drowning. I
can't imagine.
We were drowning. And there was a time, I remember, where it was like a luxury to brush my teeth and put on deodorant. There was a year probably that I didn't do those things. So thankfully I didn't have a ton of cavities, but I did stink. I did smell. And it was not my finest moment.
You smell good today.
Thank you.
I can tell you put deodorant on.
Now they're 6. Now the triplets are 6. I think I will always use them as an excuse. Even if I'm late one day, I'll be like, I'm sorry I'm late. I have triplets. They're 30. They don't live with me anymore, but that's why I'm late. They just did something to my head. But
I have triplets. I have an excuse for anything.
Yes, that's what I'm just going to. I have 6 children. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
So when you had 3 newborns at home,
yes,
plus 3 children,
yes.
How did y'all survive?
Well, that was very hard. But I will say the harder part was the pregnancy. The pregnancy was hard with the triplets. I was hospitalized for the last month of my pregnancy, but thankfully they were the biggest babies, triplets, UAMS had ever delivered. They were, and my doctor was like, with your body build, this is not going to go well. And so they are literally my miracles. He was saying, when I first met with the specialist, he was like, these babies will probably have a lot of delays. They'll probably not go to school on time. They'll probably be born about 28 weeks. And they were born at 36 weeks.
Oh,
and so
gosh.
they were 2 were 6 pounds and 1 was 5 pounds. I was really large.
Oh my gosh.
So UAMS had never sent triplets home before on normal schedule. And so they were like, this is amazing. Like, you're going to get to take them home. And I was like, yay. And because I was kind of banking on a little bit of NICU time to like go back and regroup because my house wasn't ready. So my sweet sister-in-law drove up from Jackson, got my house ready. And then honestly, Rick and Michelle, they came like when they found out what was happening. When I think I called her first or like one of the first people to tell her. And, they knew better than we did really what was coming down the pipe. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we had little bitties, but we still didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And so they had said, we want you to hire someone to help you, so that you don't quit.
Yes.
And so
that you can actually pastor a church and stay married.
Exactly. Yes. And so thankfully, because of their like foresight and generosity, we had somebody who lived with us for the first really, I think 9 months. And she worked just as hard as I did. Like she wasn't up with them at night, but we had somebody always there rocking babies. And if she was off, like if it was her off day, you better believe I was calling anybody I met in the grocery store. I was like, hey, I know we don't know each other well. I just moved to town, but can you come over and rock a baby?
Oh my gosh.
And then we had just angels, people that we got to know very quickly because we had just moved to town, and they would come get the big kids, the toddlers, and they would take them to Chick-fil-A or they would take them to the park. And it was moments like that allowed us regrouping. Honestly, a lot of Kid Life families came and like spent the night at our house. They would rock babies. Some people would stay up with us at night. There was one couple in particular who went to a different church in town, and they came over once a week for a year and did the night shift so that I could count on, okay, I can sleep 6 hours this night.
Oh my
and so they kept us alive. So, I mean, when people are like, man, you're amazing, I don't know how you did that. I was like, you would not think that if you saw the army of people that helped me.
Right.
Like it wasn't me at all.
Oh my gosh.
That's but it was a lot of logistics. And I think the whole newness of always having someone in your home, that was kind of hard because you can't realize, you can't have a family discussion if Sally's here from the beauty parlor that you just met rocking your baby. So anyway, but it was definitely just a season of growth. And I feel like God just calling me, reminding me of how weak I am and how in my weakness that he's strong. Like that was my verse, and it still is.
Right.
But that was definitely my scripture in those years, of those early years.
Yeah. So for 6 years, right?
Yes.
They were in your home.
Yes.
And did they go to preschool or anything?
Oh, the triplets? No, the triplets did not go to preschool, only because I felt like we couldn't afford it.
Well, I mean,
so no, they did not go to preschool. I did have every now and then I would have a lady come where I could leave for a morning from like 8 to noon, and I would go to the grocery and I would do,
just do anything.
I would go sit in my car by myself. I would go cry.
Tell us about the gym. Do you go to the gym?
Oh, yes. So I got out of the habit of going to the gym in quarantine. I am sorry. But I would love my gym because they have the most amazing childcare. So I would go there and I work out for about 15 minutes, but then I take like a super long shower. I may lay down by the pool with a bunch of their towels and sleep I would like set my alarm on my phone, and I would go sleep for an hour at the gym. And like we were at the gym as soon as those babies turned 6 weeks old. Like everyone's so worried about germs. I'm like, no, you take these babies. We're going to build their immune system. Like mama go sleep.
That's amazing. Did you take some classes and lay on the mat in the back?
I did. I took some yoga. My yoga teacher knew my situation, so she would let me fall asleep in the back of her class.
Oh my gosh.
Her voice was so soothing.
She's like, shh, this is a sleep class. That's so funny. Okay, so then this year,
yep,
right?
Yes.
2020?
Yes,
yeah.
2020. So the triplets turned 6 during quarantine. And
then started school.
Yes, they started school last year. Like they were in kindergarten last year. And so this year, I mean, this hopefully will be their first full year of school. But so last year they started kindergarten, and then, then they ended up coming home in the spring. And I realized how not holy I am. Like I really thought I had it going on. And then I was like, my pride, I'm going to fall because I am not cut out to homeschool. That's what I discovered. That homeschool moms are a whole new level of holy that I will now forever shake their hand and give them a hug.
I know.
And tell them to disciple me.
I know. Do you remember Cammie Ward, who's now Cammie McDonald? She started a podcast for homeschool moms. It's called what is it called?
I don't know, but I need to listen to it.
I'll put a link.
I do not have myself together.
I'll put a link in the show notes. I think it's called the Deeply Rooted Podcast or Homeschool Podcast or something. But it's for homeschool moms. And I am amazed. She has 3 little ones, and I'm always looking at her and asking her, how do you do it? And she's so good at it. Like, has so much patience, and her kids are brilliant and well-behaved.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so they came home from school because of COVID, and you had to homeschool them.
Yes.
What was that like?
So thankfully, my 2 oldest are 11 and 10.
Oh my gosh.
And so like we were just kind of like, raise yourselves, like do your own thing. Like thankfully they're smart and they're with it and they could do all of their own thing. My 3rd grader, at one point I did get an email. Well, so I was mostly focused on the triplets because I was like trying to do 3 kids in kindergarten.
Right.
And so my 3rd grader, I was like, okay, good luck. Like, here you go. Here's your Chromebook. Good luck. And so I did get an email at the end of one week that said, J.O. has not turned in any of his literacy or math. And I was like, oh, okay. And so like Corey got mad at him. And I was like, in his defense, most of the other 3rd grade boys have a mom sitting right next to him. And I'm like, good luck, buddy. So we got it done. We got his math done. But he had to have a lot of help as well as the triplets. And so it was definitely a thing. Like I was like drowning. I was drowning. And I was like, I'm like, I love doing the art projects and like, let's go to the park and like learn outside. But I'm like, I don't know how to turn on a computer. So this was very new to me. I was like paying a bunch of money to my 2 older girls. Like, can you help me set up a Google Classroom? Oh, this is Google Doc? I don't know what a Google Doc is. But I'm just not that person. So at one point I had set the triplets up on their Zoom. And so I was like going to go do dishes and help J.O. with his 3rd grade work. So I'd set them up on their Zoom. I did not realize till afterwards that Judah was shirtless. Like, and so at least it wasn't one of the girls, but Judah was shirtless
on his Zoom,
but he was with his sisters who tattle and tell me all the things. So he's on a Zoom call and he was just wearing underwear, which sadly I did not realize. Like I'm like, okay, I got to go do dishes. I got to start the laundry and I got to do 3rd grade math, which I don't really understand. And so, so I'm on to the next thing. Well, I overhear him and they're on the Zoom call, tell his teacher, he like opens up his underwear, thankfully not on the video.
Oh my gosh.
But nothing was seen, but he goes, hey, there's a cricket in my underpants.
No.
And there was a cricket in his underwear. And so he got it out, showed the class, and I had to call the teacher later and be like, I'm sorry, like this is just me. Like unfortunately, this is my very best. Like I'm operating at my very best.
That's hilarious.
And my very best is not very good right now.
I'm sure when teachers find out that they have your kids, they're like, yes, this is going to be awesome.
Well, and then
they get a peek into what is your world like.
Well, I guess, I don't know. Or maybe they're like, that bless her heart, and not in a good way, bless her. But anyway,
so
and then so my kids made up a song with their grandma about the cricket in his underpants, and so we sing it all the time.
Yeah,
it's one of our
favorites.
How does it go? I was talking to my teacher the other day on Zoom, and all my other classmates were there in their own rooms.
This is good.
And a strange tickle happened in my pants. I looked and found a cricket that danced. A cricket in my underwear. I said a cricket in my underwear. You know, a cricket in my underwear. While I was on Zoom. Boom.